A congressman publicly releasing defense footage he claims shows a US military drone firing a Hellfire missile at a high-speed orb off the coast of Yemen.
So basically, this UFO footage, like we said, it came out right before the Charlie Kirk shooting. There was some sort of a disclosure project where the government was releasing documents on UFOs. And this video footage came out claiming that this was a UFO that was shot at by a Hellfire missile. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this UFO that was apparently flying over Yemen was tracked by a Reaper drone. And that's what we're looking at here with the auto track. And a Hellfire missile was shot at it.
Yeah,
and it kind of deflected off.
Yeah, so the official story is this was on October 30th of 2024. We're off the coast of Yemen. They, like you said, it was a U.S. Reaper drone, is what they're saying, and the U.S. Reaper drone was tracking this glowing object, and that's what you saw in the video. And then they fired a Hellfire missile, which bounced, deflected, did something odd that those don't normally do. And you have a ex-Pentagon, a UAP expert, as maybe is what they're saying, is said that we've never seen a Hellfire missile do something like this before.
I would agree, because Hellfire missiles are for surface. They are not an anti-air missile. I don't know if someone misspoke and they meant maybe it was a Stinger or a Patriot or something like that, but Hellfires are not designed for shooting at air targets. Yeah, so that in itself is weird that a guy from the Pentagon would say that it was the wrong missile system. I mean, objectively, because they're just, you cannot target an aircraft with a Hellfire missile. They're for shooting personnel and tanks and stuff like that.
Let's make sure we get this correct. It was an ex-Pentagon official. The Pentagon has still to this day they've not agreed or disagreed. They've made no comment on this. That's also why this is even crazier, is that the Pentagon could have easily just cleared this up and said, oh yeah, this is what happened. Nothing.
They just said no comment.
Yeah, they just said no comment. One of the things that I think is kind of fun to speculate is, we keep hearing this was in that same time when we saw those weird drones flying over New Jersey, and this is shortly after we had that weather balloon fly over the country and things of that sort. Is maybe this is aliens? Maybe this actually is alien. Maybe both are aliens. Maybe it wasn't a Hellfire missile. Maybe it was an aliens attacking aliens, and we just happened to catch it on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you watch the missile approach, I mean, it turns towards the target, which is normal for a missile to do. But on the other side, how it turns to the right. I don't know if maybe the missile is auto-correcting and maybe it's trying to come in for another pass or something to try to hit it again. Or I'm not sure about that. But, yeah, I mean, is it alien on alien? Is it some country's technology? Is it like a Russian aircraft that's being shot at by an American missile? Or, I mean, but, the Pentagon's very tight-lipped about it. We're not really going to know anything. But the video itself, though, considering that the Pentagon didn't officially authorize the release and they're not willing to comment on it, the video itself is illegal. Whoever filmed that and leaked it, they're definitely breaking the laws around, classification and stuff. So it was a pretty bold move to do that. I don't know. To me, it seems like a distraction. I don't know. What do you think?
It could be a distraction. It could be a buildup. I mean, we do have a lot of people, if we go back and we think about like Project Bluebeam, where they talk about how there's going to be, one of the next false flags that they want to do is to do, an alien invasion. This could be setting. There's a chance that all of this could just be the signpost starting things into people's brains. I do think it is interesting that they've, rebranded UFOs to UAPs, which is always interesting to me. But this could just be a nugget in there, like a little seed to start that brainwashing into us getting used to hearing more about aliens. And so by 2030 or something, they'll do some alien invasion, and conspiracy theorists and people like us will go back and be like, oh, well, they knew there was already aliens here because of these particular events that we will be able to refer back on. So they could be setting us up.
Yeah.
Or there actually could be aliens here, and the Project Bluebeam is actually to hide us from when the aliens decide that they're just tired of us humans being, silly little humans, and they want to make a difference.
Yeah. So if anyone out there, if you're not familiar with Project Bluebeam, it's pretty much the ability to create images, very lifelike images up in the sky. And we've seen the Chinese government use it. I can't think of any specific examples, but you can look them up. Like they've had these weird hologram projection type things up in the sky. So Bluebeam is a technology that allows them to project images. And I think very strongly, a lot of you out there are probably not going to remember this unless you were kind of digging around rabbit holes back in the day. But there was this phenomenon that happened, I think it was around 2010 time era, where we were seeing these spirals up in the sky. You remember that?
Oh yeah, the Norway spiral.
Yeah, Like these big glowing spirals. They look like little galaxies in the sky, and they were spinning. And, a lot of people were speculating that that was a test run, like the first test run of Project Bluebeam. So I would imagine the technology is a lot more refined now. So basically what Justyn's implying is that the government is laying the groundwork to fake an alien invasion, to make it look like an alien invasion is happening in order to scare everybody into uniting into a one world government type of thing. Because, to be honest, moving towards becoming a type 1 civilization is a benefit for humanity in general, but I think this is more of the illusion of moving in that direction.
The image I saw, it was right around 2011, 2012, that sold me on the Project Bluebeam is, and if you can find it, if I can find it, I'll send it to you because it's what sold me on it. So what sold me on it is it's a gym. You're looking at this gym, and there's a whale, a blue whale, jumps out of the gym and jumps into the gym floor and does this splash, and it looks real.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sold me on if they had the technology like 10, 15 years ago, and seeing what they've been able to do since then with everything else. Yeah, that's why I think that there's more than meets the eye.
It could be, but they could use it to simulate an alien invasion. They could also use it to simulate the Book of Revelations.
Yep.
They could also make it look like the angels and Jesus and, all of this divine stuff is happening in the sky for whatever purpose.
They could simulate World War III, where it looks like there's missiles and things being blown up above our heads as well. There's a lot of things that they could do to simulate, to get people. We heard what happened during when the first time they played War of the Worlds on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And those people panicked and died. And, it's why even in movies now, they have to have some little thing to remind people that this isn't real. So, human psychology, and as they get us more used to seeing more abnormal things like what they're using with AI and such like that, they could use that to trick us even more.